Now, according to the White House, women earn 77 cents for every dollar that a man makes for the same job. And President Obama, he is looking to change that. Well, Tuesday, the president, he's set to sign 2 executive orders designed to help strengthen the equal pay laws for female federal contractors. The move, it would toughen up penalties for pay violations, also require employers to state the reason why there's a disparity between a male and a female worker of the same job title. And one of the orders would also ban federal contractors from retaliating against employees who discuss how much they're actually making. Long overdue?
Absolutely long overdue, but it's restricted to federal contractors. So it doesn't, and obviously that's all he can do with an executive order.
Yep.
And it also doesn't address, and I'm sorry, I'm going to bring this up, what many people say are their discrepant hiring policies in his very own White House. Fewer women getting hired and being paid less. So, there are some questions here. I mean, I agree with what he's doing here, but it needs to be broader and it needs to be more. And we need to see him be able to work with Congress to do that.
But let's be clear. He can't wave a wand and make every employer follow this. He can only, as you said, do an executive order.
But
so if he's going to, we all think politically what the next step is. I'm doing this for the feds, but now I'm going to offer a piece of legislation that we can make this nationally. He's going to make the Republicans say yes or no to the same equal pay restriction.
Why are we waiting this long in his terms or years in office to do this?
You can't win, can you?
I mean, listen, he's president. He's got to work with Congress, figure out how to do it and get this done. This is a no-brainer. It should have been done. So, I don't have that much sympathy for
his... But the numbers, Jeannie. Is there any chance that Congress actually signs this and passes it and gets it to the president?
Jeannie, if he offered up that he was an American citizen, that might not pass
I
in
think
Congress.
there is if he could work with them appropriately, and he hasn't shown a way to do that.
What is appropriate? How would he appropriately get the Republicans to go along with an equal pay?
Richard,
wait, I'm going to let you say it. What would be the appropriate way to say, please, Mr. Boehner, will you and your Republican Party agree for an equal pay mandate for the entire national workplace?
Listen, you yourself said that nobody could say no to this. So if he had a relationship with the Republicans in Congress,
the challenge is how do you write the law?
I
mean, being able to say everybody gets paid equally is a little more difficult.
Yep.
And you got to practice. I remember I had a fabulous chief of staff, a woman, and she wasn't paid up to the max. And she came to me and said, I want the max. And I didn't want to lose her, and I paid the max. But if she hadn't come up to me, she wouldn't have gotten the max. And
you didn't hire her, or you didn't pay her, knowing you, less or made an employment decision based on her gender.
No, but I'm just making the point that I think part of it has to be women have to also demand it. Mm-hmm. You can't just write a law and just says everybody gets paid, male and female, because there are lots of different jobs where how do you write the law? So when you start writing the law, then you got reporting and regulations, and you got every quarter tell us what you did, and that's lots more regulations. On top of all the regulations, every year we just keep passing more regulations.
Okay, so how do you get there?
So the way you get there first is practice it in your own office, in the White House, but it's not all that easy. That's, I think, part of the point.
This is a nice symbolic move tomorrow, right? But I've already heard he's not working well, which drives me crazy. Listen, I don't care where your politics are. He can't get them to agree if it's sunny or rainy out, okay? So how they're going to agree on this is going to be interesting.
If he started out different.
Oh, you don't believe it.
I absolutely believe it. I know Republicans who were saying this guy may be the big change that we wanted. And as soon as he got in, Rahm Emanuel was his guy, and he was as partisan as any president has ever been.
And it's
they
not only
wouldn't
Republicans,
recognize
Democrats.
his legitimacy. They wouldn't recognize some of him as an American citizen. They wouldn't recognize really. They called him a liar at the State of the Union. I mean,
the second State of the Union.
Yeah, sorry. They gave him a year.
Good point.
Yeah. You have to remember, as far as I'm concerned, Chris Shays should be in Congress forever.
Yeah, we like him. We want to keep him around. But
he's a moderate. You can work with him. You can't work with half of those nuts on the Republican side. All they want to do is cut. Let's be honest. They don't even see Obama as the president. Many of them because of the color of his skin. But that's just the way it is. And so this president could break dance, and he could do anything. And if he said left, they'd say right. If he says up, they'll say down. They're just not going to agree with them. But I agree with the professor here. on the equal pay front. But, you know, the Republicans point out that, you know, the president, well, the White House, in response to that, they're not paying all their, the same gender, as far as gender, points out that a deputy chief of staff female makes the same as a male deputy chief of staff. So, I don't know.
We shall see, and that's tomorrow. I want to save some time because when we come back here, a lot of news coming out of Connecticut, and I've got the right person for it. Yes, go Huskies. It is obviously
Men and women both.
Men and women
equal, maybe not equal ratings, but they'll both be playing for the national championship. We're going to come back after this. And also going to talk about, I think, a sad story, but also a frustrating story. Former Governor John Rode finally getting his life back together after a terrible fall from grace. Once again, involved in another corruption probe. We'll talk about that and other news coming out of Nutmeg State after this.